And now, the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Hey, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Aaron's Hour, coming to you live from Virginia Beach, Virginia. That's right, Virginia is for lovers. I'm over here, and thank you for tuning in today. It is 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, and thank you for making us part of your day. If you're watching me on Facebook, Aaron's Hour Show, you're already there. Thank you very much. Of course, please feel free to share this feed to your friends and colleagues. Heck, you know what? Send them to your enemies. I don't really care. Whoever is willing to watch this craziness, you are welcome. Of course, you can also watch it on the WWDB TV Las Vegas. Make sure you include those two words. Facebook page as well. If you like YouTube, that's okay. We love YouTube also. You can go over to the Aaron's Hour Show YouTube channel as well as the WWDB TV channel there on YouTube. And in a couple of days, early next week, sometime before the end of the year, you can go over to Roku, check out the WWDB TV channel there. They have some new things coming on, and just kind of keep an eye out for that. This is upgrades by Roku and what they're doing to enhance networks like WWDB TV. So check that out. Give it about 3 or 4 days. But if you go there and you don't see everything, don't panic. They're in the process of doing some upgrades. Now, if you want to call in, give us your thoughts on anything circling around in your life. Just say hello. That would be cool because we are, after all, coast to coast. 702-992-3207 is our number. Of course, if you're watching here on Facebook, jump into the chat room. I am going to be monitoring that, as always, on my phone as soon as I log into it. And then, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can also put your comments there. John can pull them in from YouTube, and we'll be able to talk through the chat room as well. So do that. I would appreciate it. Now, today, I'll tell you what, I've got a guest on today that, you know what, I met him in person only a couple of weeks ago. But my wife met him about a month or so ago at a function that our Kiwanis Club, our Chesapeake Kiwanis Club, was involved in. This gentleman's name is Will Boze. That's right, B-O-Z-E. And I'm glad because you know why? As a tutor who used to work with elementary kids in reading, that silent E rule or bossy E rule actually still does take into effect today. Will Boze, he is a partner in a company, a brand new beverage company here located in the Hampton Roads area, which is the Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Suffolk, all of this. And I'll actually have him explain the parameters because I'm still learning it. Seven Skies is the name of the drink. And he was at this food fest that my wife was working and helping at the Kiwanis Club. And they got to chatting. Anyway, long story short, Will and I met last week over lunch. We chatted, and I love the concept of what he and his partners have, the fact that it's a grassroots company here in the local area. Also, too, I'll get into this with Will. He also has theatrical background, but he's been in the, what's the word I want to use? The beverage side of the food and beverage part of the industry for about 20 years. Got his start in the French Culinary Institute. Check that out. That's not bad, huh? That's not a bad way to start the resume. But we'll get into all of that. We'll have Will come on a little bit after the first break. Of course, I'll pepper him with my favorite, totally unrelated questions so that you all get to know Will a little bit behind the scenes. With that, unless John wants to quickly pop in and say hello to everybody. John?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, dude. Thanks, John. With that, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. You look very formal there in your boardroom. I didn't know your house was big enough for a boardroom like that.
Well, we just did the addition. They just finished it. Yeah.
I see. Very good. All right. With that, you know what time it is, John. It's time for Vegas and Rap 2.0.
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
All right, there you go. A couple of things before I get into the actual articles. Of course, you see behind me the Yankees logo. And of course, I'm wearing my Thurman Munson jersey. Yankees came from behind last night, won 8-6, and take a 3-1 lead over the Guardians. They're 1 win away from going to the World Series, while the Mets on the other side, they stayed in. They beat the Dodgers. I think it was 12-6 last night. They are still down 3-2 in the series, best of 7. So hopefully if the Mets hold on and the Yankees get there, we can have a repeat of the Subway Series. So exciting stuff happening in baseball. And last night, my wife and I went to opening night of the Norfolk Admirals. That's right. The ECHL hockey team here in the Norfolk area, Virginia Beach area. They are basically the AAA affiliate, to my surprise, of the Winnipeg Jets. Now, I thought with the Washington, yeah, I know that, John. I see that. The Winnipeg Jets, which are located obviously in Canada, they're actually the NHL team that is the affiliate for the Norfolk team here. Last night, and Norfolk last year went to the finals. They lost to the Adirondack, Adirondack, I want to say Thunder. Is that right? I think so. Which ironically, for those of you back in Vegas, Vegas Thunder, if you all remember the Thunder, same logo, I think, same affiliation, but either way. So we went last night. When we left the game, the Norfolk Admirals were winning 1-0. But by the time we got home, they lost 2-1. So next time we have to stay for the whole game while they're winning. But anyway, good stuff. Excited. We're a season ticket holder to get back to watching ECHL hockey locally. Great opening night for them. Great crowd showed up. So there you go. All right. Let's get started with some Vegas news, shall we? Of course, as always, I like to start with some winners, and I've got one for y'all. $1.50, man. Just goes to show you don't have to bet a lot at one time to win a lot. But again, as always, when you're betting $1.50, how many $1.50s did this person actually bet over the course of a lifetime? However, a lady by the name of Matilda, she won $47,000 shortly after midnight earlier this week on the 14th. She played quick hit triple blazing sevens, a wild jackpot machine at the TI, the Treasure Island. And $1.50 is all she put in there, and she walked away with nearly $47,000. It's not a bad return on investment, as they like to say. Hurricane Helene, of course, was the first hurricane that came up through the coast prior to Milton, which Milton's devastation was crazy. Helene was the one that went through more on the west side of Florida, up through on the Gulf side, and I was down in Orlando as that sucker was barreling through. But a local Las Vegas restaurant. So if you guys know where this restaurant is, they're located up on Del Webb Boulevard up in the Summerlin side of town. The name of the restaurant is called Wild Fig Barbecue and Catering. They've announced that for the month of October, which of course it's halfway through now, 100%. That's right. I said it. 100% of all the profits are going to go to the Polk County Community Foundation in Polk County, North Carolina, because North Carolina got leveled with Hurricane Helene. This coming from founder and pitmaster Steve Cook in a statement. Prior to Las Vegas, he lived in the Carolinas and was an avid cyclist and grew to love and become very familiar with Skyuka Mountain in Polk County, North Carolina. This area is very sparsely populated, but has received some of the worst devastation from Helene. Now, overall, there were some 250 deaths attributed to Helene, total damage estimating nearly $40 billion. More than 20,000 Carolinians, 20,000 people from North Carolina applied for assistance, according to FEMA. Now, go over to Wild Fig, go support them, which in turn supports the folks down there in Polk County. They are located at 9555 Del Webb Boulevard. That is 9555 Del Webb Boulevard. Great idea. Thank you for supporting those folks down there. And folks in Vegas, go support them. Let's talk about Warner Brothers. That's not all, folks. You guys may have seen this past week. A report came out. Warner Brothers has some hefty potential economic plans, including stimulating the Las Vegas economy with a $1.2 billion boost and adding about 16,000 ongoing jobs with the building and proposal of a structure called, it's a campus actually, Warner Brothers Studios Nevada. The report specifically outlined a potential of nearly 12,000 jobs in the studio, film, and TV production sector, and about 4,700 jobs in other production aspects in the media technology lab facility and in the tourism, retail, and hotel sectors of the economy. This would also lead to the potential for the studio to add about 1,000 construction jobs and 800 additional jobs in the 36-month site development phase. Now, the article that I have is not referencing where, but we do know that there's been talk of a studio being built down in the southwest side of town, down there. I'm blanking, like near Rainbow and Warm Springs and that area over there. So perhaps that is the same location. This is being developed in partnership with UNLV. The campus would use a $1.4 billion tax credit over a decade and a half. Now, the report is called the Economic Impact Assessment of Warner Brothers Studio Nevada. The production company would have a minimum commitment of $8.5 billion in film and TV production spend, with $500 million in the initial 3 years. Now, if you ask me, and I'm sure our guest will, as he's sitting in the green room getting ready to come on, this might be something that perhaps Seven Skies may look into to become part of out there. I'm just saying. Further, the report also says that the studios and campus would contribute $1.2 billion annually to Nevada's gross domestic product and $13.5 billion in the next 15 years. It would also help the jobs, new jobs, obviously. Right now, the national average salary for people in the film and TV industry is just under $85,000, but the average salary in Nevada for the same position is just about $63,000. So, this is going to be a big project, because it's also going to not only help the film and movie industry, but also healthcare, and of course, students there at UNLV. And lastly, the last piece of news I have from Las Vegas / Nevada, the Nevada Treasury announces recipients of the 2024 Kenny C. Gwynn Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship awards up to $5,000 each to 2 students in Northern Nevada and in Southern Nevada, respectively, who are majoring specifically in elementary or secondary education with the intent of teaching in Nevada. So, following congratulations, Emily May, University of Reno, Nevada, and Leslie Diaz, also from the University of Nevada, Reno, Mackenzie Back down at UNLV in Vegas, and Riley Wargo down at UNLV at the Las Vegas campus down there. Emily, she's pursuing a degree in integrated elementary teaching. Leslie, she is currently attending UNLV. She wants to continue she also personally attended Title I schools, so that may be the direction that she's going to eventually want to go. Mackenzie, she's pursuing a Bachelor's of Science in Secondary Education with minors in Math and Computer Science. She wants to teach computer science at CCSD. And Riley, she is pursuing a Bachelor's of Science in Secondary Education. She wants to become a high school English teacher, teaching diverse literature and connecting classic works like Shakespeare to the modern world. So good luck and congratulations to those 4 individuals. Now let's bring it coast to coast now to the East Coast. Let's talk about what's going on in the Virginia Beach area, Norfolk, Suffolk, and this locale. I'm going to save that story for last, because it'll give us a good segue into Will after the break. Oh, thank you, John. John, listen, when I was in studio there, John always loved to try to crack me up live on the air, but now we have this private chat box that we can communicate back and forth so that we can stay on top of what's going on. And he keeps sending me messages that cracks me up. All right. Halloween is not even upon us yet. Still 2 weeks away, right? You can go into any store come August or September and start seeing stuff for Halloween. Well, guess what? Marine Corps does a great job every year with Toys for Tots Drive. And guess what? It's getting started here locally. So every year it seems that the holiday season does get started earlier. So, however, the Marine Corps Reserve Center on board Joint Expeditionary Base Little Creek Fort Story kicked off the Hampton Roads Area 2024 Toys for Tots campaign October 1st. And they're hoping local communities will catch the holiday spirit and help a record number of children each year. The goal this year is to collect 150,000 toys. Last year, the Hampton Roads area, they collected a record 100,000 toys that were given to 50,000 local families. This coming from Staff Sergeant Matthew Gurnoski. He is the Hampton Roads Toys for Tots coordinator. So that is underway. What I would suggest that you do is to simply check out the following website, virginia-beach-va.toysfortots.org. And of course, if you just simply search Toys for Tots, then I'm sure that will also come up as well. So you can check that out and give them a stop by and donate some toys, or you can also donate. You can also maybe become a Toys for Tot location as well. So congratulations and thank you to them. A couple more quick stories. Now listen, with Virginia Beach coming up, there are still events happening for the next couple of weeks in and around the area. Spooky events, as they say. Here's one, Spooky Saturday Family Movie Night. 2 more movie nights are scheduled. this Friday and next Saturday tonight, this Saturday and next Saturday, the Virginia Beach Farmers Market. That's one of my favorite places. Matter of fact, we have a new advertiser that's coming on, Sweet Peas Bakehouse, starting November 1st. And guess where I met them? At this same location, the Virginia Beach Farmers Market, and make some great gluten-free. I got to go down there today after the show and get some more chocolate muffins. But anyway, so tonight, movies at 6 p.m. So tonight's movie is The Addams Family, and the next week is Goosebumps. So check that out. That starts at 6 p.m. Grab your lawn chairs and blankets so you can take care of that. Fins and Frights, October 18th and 19th this weekend. So it's tonight only now that's left from 6 to 9 p.m. that the Virginia Aquarium is putting on Fins and Frights. Guests can explore a spooky night at the aquarium with candy, theme activities, games, etc. You can go down there. Price is $32.95 for adults, $27.95 for children, 5 to 11. Members of the aquarium, you get 50% off. Ghosts of Thorogood Past, the Virginia Beach History Museums returns with the Ghosts of Thorogood Past this weekend, next weekend, the 25th and 26th, from 6 to 10 p.m., October 20th and October 27th from 6 to 9. You can tour the historic Thorogood House by candlelight this October. Costume professional storytellers guide you through the night. Campfires and cider will be available as well. The Adam Thorogood House is located at 1636 Parish Road. 1636 Parish Road. Price is $15 for adults and children 11 and over. $7 for children from 3 to 10. Children under 2 are free. And I think that's about, let's do this last one. Virginia Beach Police Department's Mounted Patrol Unit is putting on a trunk or treat October 26th. Collect all the candy you can carry. Oh my goodness. And carry and show off your Halloween costume. This is offered from 3 to 4 p.m. for anyone who wants to experience trunk or treat without the smoke and flashing lights. The Virginia Beach Police Department's Mounted Patrol is located at 2089 Indian River Road. It is free and open to the public. And with that, before we go to break, here's my segue news for the day. Tickets on sale for the 2025 Coastal Virginia Magazine Wine Fest. Now, I know it's not wine. He'll talk about what it is, but it's an adult beverage. See, I started calling Will my favorite adult beverage connoisseur. So this might be something we could tie into. Anyway, January 18th and 19th is the 2025's Wine Fest located at Hampton Roads Convention Center. It will feature some of the Commonwealth's finest wines and spirits, local cuisine, craft vendors, a cash craft beer garden, and live entertainments. Awards will be presented on Sunday. There's a whole schedule for those 2 days. Simply go to coastalvirginiawinefest.com, coastalvirginiawinefest.com for schedule, purchase tickets, and see what's going on. And with that, we're going to step aside for our first break of the show, because when we come back, Will, who I know is sitting in the green room waiting, he had to go get some coffee like we all do, don't we, every once in a while? I wonder if he put some of his drinks in there. I have to ask him if there's coffee-flavored drinks from Seven Skies coming. You're watching Aaron's Hour. Don't go anywhere. Will be with me right after this break.
Are you feeling overwhelmed or stressed? Remember to take a moment for your mental health. At the Mental Health Moment, we believe in the power of self-care and community support. Our mission is to encourage and empower individuals across generations to prioritize their mental well-being. Our program called CARE takes you through community, awareness, resources, and education so we can support you every step of the way. Join us at the Mental Health Moment. Visit our website or follow us on social media, because your mental health matters. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
Welcome to www.btv.com. Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff McGee, and whether you have a phone, a laptop, an iPad, a computer station, this is a phenomenal studio that I've been invited to be one of a group of owners here in Las Vegas. And WWDBTV is a digital platformed provider that you need to know about. If you're coming into Las Vegas and you want to record some video, whether it's an infomercial, commercial, program, spotlight, employee engagement, whether you want to create your own online show, podcast, or program, Whether you want to, in essence, come in and record a program that you want to share with people on a personal basis or a professional basis, or whether you want to create a program and even then have a studio station brand you can park it with, where we will co-promote it and put it out there on the internet as well as on, in essence, Roku and other relationships we have, then this is where you want to stop in. Go to the internet and look us up. If you're watching us right now live, you already know where we are. But if you want to find out more about our operation at www.dbtv, then send us a message and we will connect back with you. We are ready to serve you.
All right, welcome back. I'm so glad John saw my message in the chat room. Before we get to Will, thank you for joining me, but I have one little piece of business I have to do as a live read before we get started. I just want to let everybody know that I am coming back to Orlando on October 30th because Hurricane Helene kind of washed out a tournament that I was down there for, the Lewis Burke Golf Classic. That's the first annual one. Now, Wednesday night, the 30th, is the pairings party. That's open to the public. You can come down, you can join in, meet the celebrities that are slated to be there. So this is going to be held on Wednesday, October 30th at the Guacamole Mexican Restaurant. Just look that up online. $25 is all it takes to get in there. Includes free drink. There you go. There's the information. Thank you, John. Free drink, coupon, and food, raffles and auctions, autograph, pictures, a live DJ. Heck, they even have me listed as a celebrity. That and $5 only get you coffee at Starbucks, folks. But come on down. I will be there because the tournament is then on Friday and is 100% sold out. I can't invite you to come play, but I can invite you to help raise money for their organization called The Verb, which is an organization that helps youth who are incarcerated come out and get their lives organized and straightened out and stay on the straight and narrow. So check that out. For more information, go to Lewis Burke, LOUSBERK, golfclassic.com. Will Bose joins me now. Good morning, Chief. I see you out there in the chat room. Good to see you, my friend. Will, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you, Aaron?
You know what? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Whenever I see myself in the mirror, then I know everything's going to continue looking upwards in the morning. So I take little wins every day. So, but thank you for getting up, man. And I know today you have something going on family-wise this afternoon. You have a birthday to get to. So I want to thank you and your family, actually your family, your kids who are his birthday, for letting you free up for an hour to join me today.
No, we saw this opportunity came about, and I, the leader of the household gave me the thumbs up. So
there you go, the leader of the household. I got one of those too. Yes,
yeah.
sir, Bob. All right, so let's get to it. So I mentioned at the top when I introduced to my audience that you were coming with me today. You've been in the industry of food and beverage for about 20 years, roughly. But you started your first year. You were at the French Culinary Institute. And being that, what was it like to be in the French Culinary Institute? I mean, that's top level stuff there.
Yeah. So it was an amazing experience. I actually was there for almost about 3 years, but in different capacities. And to give you an idea of like where my head was with it all is so the French Culinary Institute is a really, really amazing culinary school. But the restaurant where I started in is actually run by the professionals in the front of the house. So we had a general manager, paid a sommelier, I was a bartender, picked up some extra shifts, waiting tables. So we were all professional, but the students who were the graduating students would prepare the food and they had chef instructors overseeing them. And to answer your question, I love food and I love drinks and I love learning about all that stuff. But I fast forward, the cool thing about working at a French Culinary Institute, if you were an employee, you had the opportunity to take classes for free if there were spaces available. And I took a blog class, and the name of my blog was basically, it was a non-foodie in a foodie world.
I love it.
For me, you could pretty much put bacon on anything and I'm going to love it.
Well, isn't bacon a food group? It should be by itself, right?
On its own. It's a flavoring. It's its own food group.
Exactly.
It's candy, So that's it now. But it was great because I mean, I actually, all the chefs you see on TV, I got to bump elbows with, learned a lot more about spirits, wine. I heard you mentioned about the wine, and I'm like, I love wine. I'm doing cocktails, but I'm a wine drinker as well. So just expanded that knowledge.
Okay.
Across holistically the entire restaurant sphere. Even in the management, got to listen to Danny Meyer from Union Square Hospitality Group talk about things. And so my perspective within that industry grew immensely, but still I'm like, just sprinkle some bacon on it.
Exactly. So does that mean that, and we'll talk about the flavors, we'll get to that in a second. Does that mean there might be a bacon inspired beverage coming down?
It's funny. I'm a purist. So like bacon and chocolate, no. Bacon cocktails, no. I had a pizza beer once and it tasted exceptionally like pizza. It was so well done, but I don't want to drink this.
Nothing. Yeah. Pizza's designed to be in a round form, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Some things are not meant to be drank.
No, that's true. All right, so let's fast forward a few years. So now you get out of that, and going through your bio, you spent time in some distributors over the course of your career. Let's talk about the aha moment, because Seven Skies is new, and I'm going to throw a couple of questions out at you in one, if you will. And one of them I talked about at the top. Me personally, I'm new to the area, and in reading your bio, the name derivation of Seven Skies has a specific meaning, which I'll ask you to define so people know geographically why that is important. But what was the aha moment for you when you said, you know what, it's enough with everybody else, with me being in a distributorship, I want to do something on my own. Talk about that transition, if you would.
So absolutely. And just I do not want to get into this. I'm correcting you. It's if people are listening, so that they can kind of get a sense of the industry, you have distribution and you have supply. And I actually was in distribution in the beginning of my career for the first couple of years, and then have been really in the supply side. So I went from putting it out of there in the market to working with the breweries and then distilleries and things. So you ask about the aha moment,
and it's okay to correct me. I am not infallible.
I don't want to
know I'm not perfect.
That type of person. I just if people are interested, because it is two different monsters, and actually fast forwarding slightly, but the success of brands heavily relies on both, and distribution being quite important. But anyway, the aha moment, it's actually it goes back to like late 2016. So I'm going to give credit to two distilleries. Both started breweries first. One is Ballast Point, who started Cutwater as a side thing, and the actual aha moment came from Devil's Backbone. And Devil's Backbone had a distillery at their location. I had tried some of their cocktails, but they had sent the local distributor here late 2016, maybe early 2017. It was early. Some cans of their gin and tonic. And the person who has been kind of my partner and also mentor at Hoffman, a gentleman named Greg White, I'm in his office just kind of chatting about Kona, who I rep for at the moment. He's like, do you want to try something that's really kind of, it seems that this is a direction this is going. And we cracked it. And that was really the first aha moment, because that gin and tonic in a can was absolutely stellar. It was like what you would hope a gin and tonic at the bar would be. The use of gin was clearly a good gin. It elevated in flavor. It was like a bartender slightly overhanded it, so you knew the gin was there, but the tonic and and I'm going, whoa, flavors have really changed, like the ability to do full-fledged cocktails. And it got more complex and complicated. I started to witness those guys in like Cutwater Spirits doing these more complex cocktails, and they were coming off. I mean, side note, if you ever run into a White Russian from Cutwater, do yourself a favor. And that was it. It was like, whoa, we can do cocktail programs for people at home that don't have time to do these crazy stuff. And it's not going to be that malted, fake flavor stuff. Like, it's going to be the real deal. And then it was kind of a two-part. Second aha was essentially my first business partner talking me into doing this by myself, because he's like, dude, you've been on this track before everybody else. You got beer people made fun of you, And yet you're still one of the only people sitting here talking about authentic cocktails. That everything else we're looking at on the shelves, barring a few brands that are doing some great things, but most of the stuff I'm hypercritical of. I think there's a lot of garbage out there. It's all like weird flavors, fake flavors. The cool innovation is low cal, no cal, and that's great. But I wanted to do real cocktails. And so basically he talked me into he had some money set aside, invested in me, and said, I think you've got an idea here that's still, for some crazy reasons, not explored outside of, again, a few brands.
Right. So now you've got your backing. Now the company the company is less than a year. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, a year, it took a year just to be able to start producing. So yeah, really, we launched this brand in about mid to late June with our home wholesaler here and on the Eastern Shore. So the company to capture a few places right before July 4th. And that's
gotcha. So, I mean, folks, we're talking about still having the new car smell. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about here. Name of the company is Seven Skies. Talk about the derivation of the name of the company, please.
So firstly, my wife actually came up with it. I mean, I had racked my brain for almost a month on different names. And I mean, in a conversation with one of my best friends, one of the smartest people I know, he's up in New York in art and things like that. And I get him, I bounce ideas off of him because he's one of those people. And I mean, we were going over lists, and in a car ride, I'm sitting there going, well, we want to do globally inspired 7 seas, 7 continents. And he's like, well, you also live in the 7 cities area. And then my wife, just hearing the conversation, goes, well, then call it Seven Skies. I'm like, oh, that's kind of great. I love it. Seven's a strong word. It kind of encompasses everything we're doing. Globally inspired cocktails. And we're from the 7 cities of the Hampton Roads area, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Suffolk, going up to Hampton.
There you go.
Yeah, we're known as a 7 cities area in here. And it was a nod to that's our home.
Isn't it crazy how someone outside the forest can come up with the perfect name for something?
I feel like that's happens a lot. Like she's the one who gets in the NCAA tournaments and is like, never done this before, but that's a cute mascot. That's a cute mascot. Right. That's a cute mascot.
Love their shorty shorts. Right. Real quickly, and it's funny. John will appreciate this. Vegas Unwrapped was a show that I did for 7 years with Ricky Cash, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. John was part of that show. And when my partner and I, Ricky, were thinking about doing a show together after I had wrapped up time on a sports show, we were both selling timeshare. And we had all this knowledge about Vegas in our brain. What could we call it? And so one day we're at my house, and like you, we're sitting. I took out a 8.5 by 14 legal pad. And we knew we needed Vegas or Las Vegas in the name of the show just because of search engine, right? And we got hundreds of names we're penning down. We're sitting there. My daughter, not ironically, I guess it's fitting now. She's the sound engineer for Cabaret up in New York City on Broadway. So it makes sense now. Nice. She comes barreling down the steps from her bedroom. Hey, Dad, what are you guys doing? And we're explaining to her what we did, and we shared some of the names. And she goes, well, why don't you just call it Vegas Unwrapped? Because all you do is you're peeling back the onions of Las Vegas, you're unwrapping it. And Ricky and I looked at each other and said, that's it. And then I grounded her to her room for being a smart ass in 3 seconds. So there you go. So it's
go to your room. I'm stealing that. That's mine.
That's
now.
Right. Exactly. It's mine now. But it's always somebody outside, and that's okay. Yeah. We're in the forest. We don't see everything.
That's exactly right. That's right. We're in it. And sometimes you just got to have somebody who's not in it kind of step out and look at it from
exactly. All right. So now here you are. You planned for a year, and as recently as within the last couple of months, now you're out and about. Now, we're going to quickly flash on the screen the 3 flavors that you currently have available, and they're on your website, which of course is, hold on, I know I got it right here, drink7skies.com, and John will put that on the crawl as well. So we have Bally Rum Trader is one of the flavors, right? That's one of them up there. John, let's go to the next. You have the Fuzzy Navel, which of course that name everybody knows is a hard liquor drink as well. And then the last one you have, there's Raspberry Cosmopolitan. So talk about these 3 flavors that you guys created to get started out of the box. How'd they come from and why these 3?
Well, the Fuzzy Navel's very easy because that is a tribute to my grandmother and the first cocktail I ever had. I've watched the Orange Crush thing around here get popular, and orange is a popular flavor. But I thought Fuzzy Navels were always an awesome cocktail for us hummingbirds, and so I wanted to kind of reintroduce. It was in '80s, really big in the '80s and early '90s, especially in those like Fern bars and things. And it again, I'm 14 years old. My grandmother's like, "Do you want to try something?" And it's like that was the first thing I had ever. So it was really that was the only cocktail we pretty much did that wasn't us somewhere at a bar going, "Oh my God, we need to can this." Now I did seek out a recipe. I'm not gonna really go into the exact locations out of just fear, but like, yes, the Fuzzy Navel, there was an inn down in Charleston, South Carolina, and they were featuring. So people don't really realize that actually South Carolina produces nearly 3 times the peaches the amount of Georgia does. And the bar was kind of having this mission. They were on this thing of like, this is the peach state. So they were taking a local farmer's peaches and making a syrup out of it, and then using Florida navel orange juice, and resurrected that when I tried it. I mean, it was simply fantastic. The Raspberry Cosmo, literally, we got so delayed. This is a couple years ago, going back from a trip down in South America. We were in Mexico and we were going to stay a couple days. Ended up at this lounge and they were featuring it. And those guys really were, they were using raspberries in a immersion circulator, basically sous videing and making raspberry macerated raspberry juice and making this Cosmo. And again, when we tried it, we're like, whoa. I had a little help from the flavoring company because I had written that down as one of the possibilities, and it just so happens that like the flavoring guy who him and I see the industry the same, and he was talking about this raspberry Cosmo, and I was like, you know what, that's crazy. He said, we just did this concentrate that, I want to send you a couple different renditions, and one of them I was just like, oh my goodness, that is exactly what we had. And the Bali rum comes from Bali, Indonesia. So my wife is Indonesian. We went out there for about a year. Ironically, it's her least favorite. She doesn't like coconut that much at all. So even a little really kind of throws her off. But when we were at the beach club and we were trying it, she's just like, okay, this needs to go on the list. Like, I don't really, but right. This is actually really good. And so, and it was also something that kind of rounded out the brand identity, right? I mean, if we're going to be globally inspired, we wanted to kind of hit a home run off the first. So, Bali Rum Trader.
Website is called drink7skies.com. There's more story about the background and the cocktails. And of course, we'll find out from Will where the locations are. You can go to the website. Let's just say right now, Massachusetts and Virginia, but I do know there are some huge plans on the horizon. And I mean, really soon, of where else you can find it. But before we go to break, I'm going to fire some totally unimportant questions your way that need your quick fire response. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here you go. Who's your favorite actor of all time?
I don't have one. I hate Sidney Poitier.
Oh, wow. Okay. How about favorite actress on the other side?
You want to know what's crazy? I'm not as much of a movie person as you might think.
Well, it could be, doesn't have to be movie, it could be TV.
I would say Sally Field.
Wow, some classics. Wow. Okay. Favorite all-time movie or TV series or show that you may want to binge for a couple hours is available. Now, hold on. Hang on. Let me.
Great question.
Okay. So my introduction to this one usually gives people enough time to think of it. So it comes on, you grab your favorite adult beverage, which of course will be a Seven Skies drink. You bring your favorite snack, your spouse, your family, you turn off your phone. You don't want to be disturbed. What is that for you?
Either a documentary or honestly, this movie and why Sidney Poitier was one of his Sneakers is one of my all-time favorite movie with Robert Redford and Sidney Poitier.
Okay. Perfect.
That, or I have to give an honorable mention. It could be The Big Lebowski.
Oh, now there's a classic. There's a classic one. Favorite music genre?
Oh man,
it might touch
it's going to be Motown, like Motown soul. that type of stuff.
All right. Last question before we go to break. So now you're at a red light. You're traveling around town. You got to whatever it is, and you're at a red light. Your radio or XM is on. What is your favorite all-time song so that when it comes on, you're doing your own karaoke in the car and you don't care what you look like singing and people seeing you in your car? What song is that for you?
James Lade.
Really? Okay, I have to
My
look that
bed
one.
is on fire with passionate love. That one.
There you go. Look at that. We even get live karaoke.
I hear that, and I'm going to be absolutely singing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you dance to it too? Like, I know you can't do it in the car.
Yeah, I dance, but like, so it's funny because I'm one of these people. If I hear certain songs, especially like, I can't not dance. I won't be singing. So I'll have to give like staple singers "Come Go With Me." If I hear that, I'm dancing. There's nothing that can stop me from
kind of like Village People in YMCA. You can't not do the YMCA, right?
You can't stand there and not do it.
All right, we're going to step aside for our last break of the show. We come back more with Will, where he can find the drinks, what the plans are, get sips, where he's going to be around town soon. More to come with Bill. More to do here on Aaron's Hour. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality, Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas, and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Are you feeling overwhelmed or stressed? Remember to take a moment for your mental health. At the Mental Health Moment, we believe in the power of self-care and community support. Our mission is to encourage and empower individuals across generations to prioritize their mental well-being. Our program called CARE takes you through community, awareness, resources, and education so we can support you every step of the way. Join us at the Mental Health Moment. Visit our website or follow us on social media because your mental health matters. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
All right, welcome back. It's like a Chinese fire drill. So you even changed my background for the back half of the show here. That's what you got to love about virtual backgrounds. That's right. Aaron Phillips here. Will Bose, he's a partner at a company called Seven Skies Drinks, Adult Beverages. He is my favorite adult beverage connoisseur. Okay, that's what I'm not calling him. He's my connoisseur of adult beverages because I'm not a drinker, but if I were, I'm right there with Will. My wife loves this kind of stuff, and they met at a food fest. And I know when we chatted, you kind of get out and you do those kind of events, food fest, and you're out in the public for people to try and taste and whatnot. So do you have things coming up where people can come out and see you wherever it is? Because again, I know you're expanding your distribution. I talked about you're up in Massachusetts. You go online, you're all over the place here in our local area. Future, give some people some ideas where, besides going in and buying stuff at like 7-Elevens, folks, and your favorite restaurants, ask for it. Where can people see you live and in person for a taste test, perhaps?
You can. This is usually charity golf event season and a bunch of event seasons. We have on October 26th, we're going to be up in Richmond at the Union Market, who has an annual block party that's going to get 2,000 to 3,000 people. And then the next one after that is November 9th. Half of us are going to be down here for the Chesapeake Sheriff's Oyster South. And the other half of us are going up to the Northern Neck where my family is, Kilmarnock, Reedville. Very few people actually know where it is, for another oyster festival up in Reedville. So that's where we're coming up as far as big events. You can sometimes see us we just got Kroger's, where we partnered with an agency that actually the owner came from inside the beer industry. So keep an eye out on the bigger Kroger's, your Kroger marketplaces. You're going to run into us out there giving away samples as well.
Now, we also talked about, and I don't want to jump the shark if it's not ready, but with me going back to Orlando to do this golf tournament, don't you have your sights set in Orlando as well?
So really, yes, we're already distributed. We launched Florida, not at the greatest time. Like, you can't predict these things.
Of course.
But we partnered with a fantastic distributor out of Orlando. They do statewide. They handle a really high-end portfolio. They got going, but then obviously the storms hit. So I'm just, I'm letting that breathe for a while, because those people need some help. They don't need to be focusing on me right now. And but we are in Florida as we speak, absolutely, in Orlando, Jacksonville, Fort Myers, and I think once they get kind of collected again, they're gonna press. Side note, sorry, I do want to say, but their key accounts guy just sent me a note, said I sent your deck over and talked to Disney Epcot.
All right.
Not that we're gonna get it, but you never know.
Hey, well, hopefully, you know what? Send this video along to Disney. I'll be down there October 30th through November 2nd. So if you need a rep down there, man,
they call me to go down there and start hitting some accounts for us.
Exactly. They call me the voice for a reason, dude. Right. I can be your voice. But that's good. No, what's exciting for me personally, and again, when you and I had lunch, my excitement for what I do, I'm in my 19th year doing what I do behind a microphone. And for me, my biggest excitement is for the businesses and the guests that I have come on my show and hear their growth and the excitement and the passion and to be able to share my platform with businesses like yours that for a company that started a handful of months ago, literally a month after I arrived to Virginia Beach myself, here you are with really huge distribution already set up, and now you're talking the Krogers and the Epcot centers. I mean, I'm sitting here getting goosebumps in excitement for you and your company, because to make such strides so quickly, that's amazing stuff. And I'm so happy to be able to, first of all, know you. And again, I'll give kudos to my wife, who rarely talks about what I do, like I'm in the witness protection program. And the fact that she spoke to you at that food fest, for you and I to meet, I mean, it's just amazing how things happen. I'm so happy and so proud to hear that success. But hey, I'm down there. If anything develops, dude, hit me up. I'll be happy to go rep 7 skies for you while I'm down there.
Appreciate it.
Not everybody can have a Hall of Fame broadcaster walk in and talk about their company. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, as I pat myself on the back, because nobody else will. No, I'm only kidding. Well, that's exciting. No, that's good stuff. And I love breaking stuff like that to hear. And so fingers crossed for everything to come through. All right, so you got some local stuff coming now. You've got those 3 flavors out there. And I have to tip my cap to thinking that you didn't flood the market with hundreds of different flavors to try. And my wife and I, we were at the Admirals game. You may have heard me talk about that last night. And I'm sure you've been there. Have you been to a hockey game there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you really have a couple of the concession stands along the windows, and 2 of the beer bar displays, they must have had about 4 coolers side by side, neatly displaying all their canned drinks. And there were so many of them.
Yeah.
So I tip my cap that you guys have started out of the box with 3 flavors to kind of get out there, get in the market and now I'm sure you have a plan or drawing board of more flavors coming over a period of time. So what would be the next couple of flavors that the public can look towards to, and about when? Oh, look at that. As if on cue, ladies and gentlemen.
So I don't know if, let me turn it.
There you go. Right there. You got it.
So we launched 3 and had already had kind of a 4th in the back pocket, and really logistics and, I would have liked to launch 4, but really logistics. And the truth is, coming off with so many flavors with the retailers, if you're brand new without reputation, it's
right. It's overkill.
So made it kind of the decision to be a bit more responsible, get the 2 vodkas going, and then start to release our rums, because there are very few rum cocktails out there. So this is a passion rum punch. One of the business partner, my very good friend, who's a revenue director over at the local water park here called Ocean Breeze. He's from Hawaii originally, and he goes back all the time. He's back with family and stuff. And he's showed me this stuff at the tiki bar with him and his wife, and he's like, it's actually a pog punch. I cannot put pog on there. There's a company in Hawaii, pog juice in Hawaii is actually known. It's passion, orange, and guava. Okay. And they use it to make a punch, and it's dynamite. The prevailing flavor is the passion fruit. But he's just like, oh my God, we got it. This is a rum punch. And I saw the recipe and I'm like, that's dynamite. So that's next. We already
had pineapple, though. You would think pineapple from Hawaii.
So absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny because the Bali rum, people are like, oh, this is like Hawaii. It's like, yeah, it is. Even though it's from Bali,
right?
Yeah, I can totally see that's because the pineapple. But they were doing passion fruit. Actually, there they get a lot of tropical fruits and flavors in Hawaii. And we wanted to do a second rum. I wanted to do a rum punch, and that's it. Landed on. I mean, passion orange and guava. It is fantastically delicious. Very juicy, little sweet and tartness, but also really nice. The other flavors we have are a blackberry mojito. That is actually the concentrate. The cans are done, not printed, but the blackberry mojito. And then we also have a concentrate done for a lychee green tea martini, but that's probably going to be at least a year and a half away. Okay. We are working on a maraschino margarita right now for the summer of 2025. I don't want to give too much away to my competition, but it's a legit fresh lime margarita. I'm very critical of most of the margaritas on the shelves. I think they're all terrible. Most of them. Rose is limey or very fake flavor. Right. We want this to be that fresh lime, like the Simply Limeade with some Luxardo maraschino cherry juice in it to kind of really round that out. So that's what we have in the plans and on the works as far as cocktails.
I love it.
The other side of this is we do have future plans. These are all the 5.9s and 12 ounce 355 ml cans. We want to get into a much higher end complex cocktails with much higher ABVs. Being in Virginia, we could sell to ABC, but really it just kind of restricts us on that right now. Sure. But we're going to be doing 200 ml cans, and we're talking pre-prohibition style cocktails like Last Words, Paper Planes, Saturns. I'd love to do a Brandy Alexander. We talked about the holidays, doing like a bourbon cream eggnog, these types of things. So
it's funny because as we're talking about all these different flavors, you and I talked about, again, I hope I'm not jumping the shark on anything. If I am, please tell the audience I'm lying. I don't know what I'm talking about. Specialty cocktails for events to name after certain people. Didn't we talk about like a potential the voice flavored?
Yeah, I mean, we absolutely could. And the way I know your mind thinks, we could probably like tailor it to do a charity fundraiser with it, right? And pick a great charity and then have the proceeds just go to them. But yeah, absolutely. I think that's a lane we've taught my brother, one of my other main business partner, my brother. I mean, we've talked about that kind of stuff, partnering with local distilleries and coming up with. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead too. Locally here, there's Beach Vodka. Okay. If you're around Virginia Beach and you haven't been over to Beach Vodka, carry yourself over there, please. It's a fantastic place. The people there are absolutely owner. Stephanie couldn't be one of the nicest people ever. We've actually started to talk about doing a charity-driven collaboration for next summer.
Hey, John, I know
you're looking out on that. It'll be a little bit higher ABV than our stuff. It's going to be definitely tailored to the charity, but we want to partner with and those types of things for other distilleries or companies. Absolutely, 100%. We really would love to do that.
John, jump in there if you would, because I want to. As you just heard that last bit, when Will and I were talking about this, I was thinking of Firefighter Memorial Transport as a target nonprofit to benefit.
That would be awesome.
Would that be a good selection for Frank?
Yes, Frank could really use the help in that area. Yeah. Okay,
that's because when Will and I were talking about that over lunch, that's immediately where I went, was for Frank and Will. John knows obviously Frank Pizarro. I think I told you, lead singer of the Platters for 10 years. The Platters, not a tribute band, nothing. The Platters. Firefighter was at Ground Zero and Firefighter Memorial Transport. He started as a nonprofit to honor first responders with the caisson. Caisson is the fire truck that you will have the casket on as they're on their way to being laid to rest. So it's an honor. And he just got a vehicle for police. He just got a vehicle for military. He has a vision in Vegas to build a 80,000 square foot facility that has everything from a museum in it to a theater, to classrooms, to houses, trucks, and all that sort of stuff. Oh, there.
Check that
Speaking of
out.
devil, Frank, we're just talking about you, Frank. This was not a setup. Frank, if you just tuned in, I want you to meet Will Bose here, Frank, and I want you to check out drink7skies.com, because I just brought up the fact that when Will and I met Frank, he can do specialty flavors for fundraisers, for nonprofits. Ears were ringing, you betcha, Frank.
Ooh.
And so I have an idea we're working on to hopefully go ahead, John, before you burst at the seams.
What the hell? Oh, Fireball.
Oh,
You need to find a drink that has Fireball in it for Frank.
We got there's a lot of options there.
All right. Yeah.
so we'll do that. We're gonna Will, you and I will work on something for Frank. And so Frank, I'm still working on you, bud. Still trying to help you raise that kind of money. We'll talk offline. So check out drink7skies.com, and good to see you in there. All right, we are wrapping up. I got a few more oddball questions, then we'll wrap up and we'll get everybody out of here. Did that one. If a movie was made about your life, who would you like to see star as you? And don't say Sidney Poitier. That would
No.
Although you can say it if you want. It's your movie.
No. I love accuracy and stuff like that. So, I'm gonna have to go with the most handsome guy out there ever. That's pretty accurate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see if I can make myself available for you.
Who would I want to? It's such an easy thing, and I mean, actually, he's way better looking than me, so it wouldn't be that accurate. But I love Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt. At least him and I share kind of like the roundish face. He could maybe put on some weight for the role.
I was going to say, we'll shoot the movie from here up. That's all. We'll just shoot it from there up. Yeah. All right. Give me your all-time favorite meal from top to bottom, starting with an adult beverage.
My favorite, if I gun to head, it's going to be a margarita of some sort.
Okay. All right.
No, I want to take that back. No, I'm sorry. Something jumped up recently a lot, and I mentioned it before. The last word. It's a it's a gin cocktail with green chartreuse, fresh lime, and Luxardo maraschino cherry juice. I'll say last word, final answer. Yeah, that's
okay. Favorite. Appetizer.
Goodness grief. It's simple, but like here's the problem with me and favorites is I don't really have them. There's so many. I'd say top 3 appetizers is gonna be. Oh man!
Just give me one right now. Comes to mind. What would you want to have as an
smoked chicken wing? Like chicken wings that have smoke to them.
Okay. Entree.
Prime rib.
Sides.
A baked potato for sure. Okay. Lots of butter. Lots of sour cream. Definitely baked potato. And I'd say either I'd probably go for my vegetable, not with a prime rib, but bok choy is probably my favorite.
Oh, there you go.
Bok choy or broccoli. Oh man, easy, classic, simple creme brulee.
There you go. Perfect. All right, 2 more questions. Favorite superhero, Batman or Superman? And please get the question right.
Yeah. Oh man. So I'm a Batman guy.
That's it. That's all you need. That's all I need. There you go. There's my guy right there.
Yeah, I'm a Batman.
Last question for you, the only serious one of all of these questions. When the day comes that you're standing at the pearly gates, and I know that'll be many, 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 many years from now, what is it you want to hear the maitre d' say to you upon entry through the pearly gates?
I'm glad you were. That's going to be a little emotional.
That's okay. That's why it's the only serious one that I ask.
I want to be remembered. I've thought about this as on my epitaph. It was from a story my father told me about a man he knew that was quite wealthy, but you would have never known it. And I would like it to be like, we knew you'd give the shirt off your back to anyone who needed it.
There you go. Nothing better than that. And certainly what you're giving back to the community by form of what your knowledge and experience is certainly showing that. All right. We have about 45 seconds left. Is there anything that we did not cover that you would like to make sure you mention now to our audience? So I'll give you the final word before we say goodbye.
Just, keep an eye out. This category of ready to drink canned cocktails has gotten crazy cluttered. A lot of stuff out there. Keep your minds open to trying some of these new brands as the category flushes out, because it's in its infancy. It's like craft beer was in the first couple of years, where there are great brands in there. It's just going to take a little bit to shuffle through. Just remember to take care. If you're out and about and you're at restaurants, I know people are questioning the level of service they're getting these days here and there, but make sure you take care of the people that are taking care of you, for sure.
Love it. Absolutely correct. The website again, folks, drink7skies.com. It's the back history on the company, the flavors that are available, current locations. I'm sure that's going to be updated real soon based on the information of who's in Florida and upcoming sites. So check it out. Will, thank you for taking time with me today, sir.
Thank you, Aaron. Really appreciate you.
The great thing is we're going to jump the shark. And if all goes well, folks, we're going to hear more from Will and his company going into the spring. So that is the plan. I'm going to put it out there in positive tone that you'll be seeing more stuff between Aaron's Hour and Will in the spring as they grow and we get the opportunity to share and watch him grow. With that, everybody, thank you for watching. Next week is the 26th. I have, Keith Robertson. He's an estate planner, gentleman that I met also through local networking here. He'll be on next week's show to talk about the many facets of estate planning. You know what? We think about it. We take it for granted. And you know what? With the events of Mother Nature, like Will was talking about, and we've been talking about the devastation of the hurricanes and areas, people probably don't think about estate planning all that often. Well, guess what? Keith is going to be with us next week to talk about that and what we need to keep in mind. With that, be kind to everybody. Why? We are all we have. Have a great week. Be safe, be happy, and help those around you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Aaron's Hour.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Will.